Hi, this is Sally's Book Talk, where we bring you the best books from around the world every day. Today we're diving into the book Nickel and Dimed on Not Getting By in America. The subtitle reads, When a Columnist Disguises Herself as a Waitress. The author Barbara Ehrenreich, a Time magazine columnist, is an American white woman with a Ph.D. in cellular biology, a genuine social elite. Yet, at nearly 60 years old, she went undercover 3 times into America's working poor, taking jobs as a restaurant waitress, maid service, cleaner, and Walmart sales associate. Why did Barbara do this? First, we must understand the historical context. In 1996, the U.S. passed the Welfare Reform Act, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, TANF. This new policy had 2 key features compared to previous welfare programs. First, it eliminated permanent welfare, capping lifetime benefits at 60 months total. Second, recipients must work 30 hours weekly. Single parents with children under 6 required to work 20 hours, with benefits reduced for non-compliance. Welfare reformers believed work was the pathway out of poverty, that recipients needed to pull themselves up by their bootstraps through employment. But does hard work truly guarantee escape from poverty?
Barbara's experiment answered, No. In our wealthy society, minimum wage workers remain trapped in survival mode, while the work solves poverty myth obscures systemic causes.
Since its 2001 publication, Nickel and Dimed remained on Amazon's business bestseller list for 12 years, translated worldwide.
Shockingly, even a carooning single adult could barely survive on sweat-drenched labor.
This reveals something fundamentally wrong: Barbara's indictment of flawed systems and timid reforms. For over a decade, this critique has resonated globally, making the book essential reading about the working poor phenomenon. So what really causes poverty? We can deconstruct the book into 3 key questions through the arguments the author refutes. First, are people poor because they're lazy and unwilling to work? Second, is poverty caused by low education levels and narrow perspectives? Third, what are the societal causes of poverty? In 1998, Barbara began her first undercover work experience in Key West, Florida, nearest to her home. With scientific rigor, she set strict undercover rules. 1. Don't use educational background or prior work experience. 2. Find the highest paying job and keep it. 3. Find the lowest tier housing while maintaining safety, privacy. Her goal was to see if she could live paycheck to paycheck like genuine low-wage workers. Barbara created the persona of a divorced homemaker returning to workforce, mirroring her real-life experience. She omitted some details, listing her education as 3 years at Rockefeller University, her actual alma mater. Remarkably, she was never exposed. Only one employer among dozens ever checked her references. Thus began Barbara's undercover journey. Her first job was at Hearthside Restaurant, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. shifts, often handling 6 out of 27 tables, sometimes the entire floor. The job required intense focus to manage diverse customer demands.
More iced tea here. Extra ketchup there. Table 14 needs takeout boxes. Where are the high chairs?
No rest even during slow periods.
Managers watched servers like hawks. Any idle moment meant being assigned dirty tasks.
When Barbara peeked at a customer's newspaper, the manager made her vacuum the entire restaurant. The broken vacuum had only 60 centimeters handle. She had to kneel while cleaning small sections. This backbreaking work paid $2.43. Our base wage, $5.15 with tips, barely enough for fast food.
After working 2 full weeks, Barbara realized her monthly income after food expenses still left her $100 short on rent. She needed 2 simultaneous jobs just to survive. She subsequently worked at Jerry's, a chain restaurant, and a hotel as waitress cleaner, requiring 12-plus-hour daily shifts. Meals were rushed sandwiches during shift changes.
Unexpected delays meant serving customers hungry.
Initially, Barbara believed she could manage double shifts.
This illusion shattered within days.
When Jerry's received a 50-person tour group with complex orders and picky eaters. Like a British guest demanding chicken strips as appetizer, while other dishes stayed in kitchen. Reheated food kept getting rejected too cold or overcooked. As Barbara struggled with 3 trays, the manager yelled, "Is this traditional scrambled, mega scrambled, special scrambled?" Exhausted Barbara couldn't recall original orders.
After 10-plus hours non-stop, her legs went numb.
"What's taking so long with my order?" A customer stormed into kitchen. The manager screamed at him and threw an empty tray.
Barbara quietly left, ending her first undercover mission.
In August 1999, working 7 days weekly as maid, care home aide in Portland, Maine, she barely broke even.
Early summer 2000. Walmart sales job in Minneapolis failed due to housing costs, lasting barely a week.
Barbara's conclusion: poverty isn't from lack of work, it's despite constant work.
She and her colleagues all needed multiple jobs or roommates to barely survive.
During 3 undercover missions, her hourly wage ranged from $5.15 to $7.50. Beyond basic expenses, Barbara lived frugally, sometimes eating just chicken nuggets for lunch. No vices.
English Rigi dollars. Waitress uniform was considered luxury.
Her co-workers doing double shifts survived on hot dogs or crackers during 8-plus-hour days.
Barbara kept lowering housing standards to survive.
First, in Florida, moved from suburban cabin to trailer park mobile, home for job access.
In Maine, motel housing in Minnesota, motel without locks or AC. Colleagues lived in cars or shared motel rooms to survive. Physically demanding jobs destroyed her health. Former gym goer now relied on painkillers daily.
A fitness client told her, "Fire your cleaner and do housework yourself to stay fit."
She could only give a bitter laugh. This repetitive labor caused muscle damage, not exercise.
Yet Barbara remained rich among the poor. She entered each experiment with $1,000 plus for deposits. She discovered, poverty follows physics. Initial conditions determine everything.
Without 2 months' rent for apartment. Pay weekly. Motel rates. No kitchen survive on convenience store food.
For instance, fast food like hot dogs ends up costing more than home cooking while being less nutritious.
Without health insurance, any illness means paying out of pocket. There's no magical financial trick to sustain life.
Even with preparation, Barbara failed in 2/3 of her undercover attempts. This concludes Barbara's first-hand experience and the book's first answered question.
The working poor aren't lazy. They work multiple jobs, pinch every penny, yet still barely survive.